Hi, my name is Taryn. I'm going to be talking about the anthrax disease. Anthrax is caused by the gram-positive bacteria called Bacillus Anthracis. It is a rod-shaped bacteria that almost looks like a necklace. It's just a chain of rods. And there are 4 different routes of entry for anthrax. The first one is going to be through the skin, any cuts or openings on the skin. The signs and symptoms of this are going to be swelling in the lymph glands, as well as it's going to look almost like a bug bite on the skin, and that bug bite will kind of turn into a larger sore with a black center. The second form is ingestion. This can usually be ingested through like meats, like through livestock, stuff like that. These symptoms are going to be nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, fever, and abdominal pain. The next form of entry is through injection, and that's going to be very similar to the cutaneous entry. You're going to see redness at the site of the injection, as well as swelling. And the last form of entry is through inhalation. You can see very similar signs as the ingestion, like flu-like symptoms, but on top of that, you're going to have coughing up blood, as well as later on it can progress into multiple organ system failure, as well as meningitis. Let's see. Anthrax does have 3 virulence factors. The first one is going to be the extracellular poly-D-glutamate capsule, as well as the lethal toxin and edema toxin. It is a very resistant bacteria. It can survive in very harsh conditions, harsh temperatures, and low nutrient conditions as well. So, I mean, once it's there, it's not going anywhere. It is very rare in the United States. It can be found usually in Middle Eastern countries such as India, Iraq, Turkey, Iran, as well as some southern African countries. The anthrax bacteria is found, it's a naturally occurring bacteria in the soil. The only problem is the spores in the bacteria, they are transferred to the host, such as the livestock, usually cows, horses, sheep, cattle, and that livestock is transferred to us through whether it's food, vets, and people that handle the livestock. However, in 2001, instead of transferring through animals, they were able to pull the spores out of the anthrax, and they used it in the male to harm other humans, and it actually harmed up to 22 people. So there is a way to send it without the food and stuff. So those who are at risk of getting anthrax are military personnel in deployed locations where they purposefully harm other people with anthrax. Those who deal with livestock regularly, vets who deal with livestock, people who work in labs directly with anthrax, and then people who do injectable drugs such as heroin are also at high risk. They do have a vaccine for it, however it's not given to the public. It is reserved for military that are about to deploy. I personally had the anthrax vaccine about 8 times now. And then they give it to, once again, those who work in the labs with anthrax, and then vets who work with livestock as a living. If you are exposed to anthrax, there are a few antibiotics that you can give. They give Levaquin, Cipro, and doxycycline, and those are all approved by the FDA. So that's everything on anthrax, and I hope you enjoyed it.